Welcome to the Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Wayne Johnson, and I'm glad we can get together today, even though we cannot be together. Today our minister, the Reverend Jeff Breer, takes note of all the white people in our Unitarian Universalist congregations and discovers some people of color as well. To accompany the lighting of the chalice, I bring you a short story from Anthony DeMello about the Buddha. The Buddha was once threatened with death by a bandit called Angulimala. "Before you kill me, please be good enough to fulfill my dying wish," said Buddha. Angulimala thought, "Why not? This ought to be fun. Okay, old man, what is your dying wish?" The Buddha pointed to a nearby tree. "Cut off the lowest branch of that tree." One slash of the sword and it was done. "Anything else?" asked the bandit with a sneer. "Put it back again," said the Buddha. Angulimala laughed. "You are an old fool. No one can do that." The Buddha was resolute and stared at Angulimala. "On the contrary, it is you who are foolish, to think that you are mighty because you can wound and destroy. That is the task of children. The mighty know how to create and heal." I think that story might have the implications for President Biden. We all have different reasons for gathering here each week, but we have this much in common. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder. For a prelude today, Wendy and John bring us a song originally introduced by the Kingston Trio in 1964. It didn't attract much attention then, but in 1967, a few years later, the time was right, the arrangement was right, and the sound was right for the song to land in our ears. Featured in many movies about the 60s, this is Get Together.
Love is but a song we sing, figures the way we die. We can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but moments of night, fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your sister. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your children. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you'll understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling little hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your children. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your sister. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. I said, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
We will sing Loving Kindness next. Please light a candle to dispel the darkness, to honor someone or some event, or to bring light to a memory.
My name is Jeff Breer, and I am the minister of this virtual church. I hope you are safe and well. Please remember to wear a mask when you go out in public, keep your distance from other folks, and when it becomes available, get vaccinated. I have a short quote for you this morning. It is appalling that the most segregated hour of Christian America is 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So do you know who said that? The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in 1963. Dr. King was not talking about Muslims, Jews, or Sikhs, or Hindus. He was talking about Christians. According to those who know, King's assertion remains true today. The vast majority of American congregants attend services at a church where a single or racial or ethnic group comprises at least 80% of the congregation. And that's according to findings from the most recent National Congregations study. And a study from Baylor University showed that churches which attempt to create a more racially diverse congregations, well, they found that while diversity doubled over 20 years, membership declined by 22%. Their conclusion was that racial diversity itself is not a detriment to growth. It's the process of changing the racial composition of a congregation that causes difficulties. And I have often wondered why this is true. Why is it that Christians segregate themselves and Muslims, on the other hand, incorporate worshipers from all over the world? Why is it that Unitarian Universalist congregations are about 95% white? That's my observation anyway. I don't have a definitive answer, but my thoughts revolve around two things. One, it's pretty easy to see that churches made up of one culture or skin color, well, that's the residue of the Jim Crow era. In those days, everyone hung out with friends, neighbors, and colleagues. It was very rare for blacks and whites to intermingle in restaurants, schools, buses, trains, grocery stores, barbershops, beauty parlors, movie theaters, swimming pools, work environments, picnic areas, and parks. Every aspect of life was segregated, even churches. And two, if your family's history and culture includes episodes of terror, oppression, and brutality, well, it would be understandable if you found solace in a church that preached justice and redemption. And what do you suppose you would hear in a black church? Justice and redemption. But now look at our church and all the other Unitarian Universalist churches. Plenty of preaching and action about justice, but not much about redemption. And that's because our Universalist heritage taught us that there was nothing to be saved from. And our Unitarian heritage is not much help in this regard either, inasmuch as it is rooted in rationality, not redemption. I don't mean to suggest that we should ignore black people who show up at our door. No, I am suggesting that we might have to change our approach if we truly want them to join us. Merely opening the door and say, everybody come on in, everybody's welcome here, well, that may not be enough. Nonetheless, a not inconsequential number of black people have joined Unitarian Universalist churches, and some have made their marks in our societies. The Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt serves as Associate Professor of Unitarian Universalist Theologies and Ethics at Starr King School for the Ministry. She holds a PhD in Religious Ethics and African American Studies from Yale University. Her academic work focuses on environmental ethics of liberation in a feminist frame. She served for 4 years as the Director of Racial and Ethnic Concerns for the Unitarian Universalist Association. Her ministry centers on work that is empowering and counter-oppressive. She holds a bachelor's degree from Cornell, a master's from Yale in Religious Ethics and African American Studies, and a master's of divinity from Starr King School for the Ministry. The Reverend Teresa Soto is the parish minister at First Unitarian Church of Oakland, California. Reverend Soto prefers that people use the personal pronouns they, them, and theirs when referring to her. They bring a remarkably loving presence and a depth of spiritual leadership to Oakland. They're invested in working collaboratively with the congregation to live more deeply into a mission and vision. Reverend Soto says, while I am prepared to lead a congregation, I want to do it in partnership with them, their dreams, their ideas, and their dearest values. They also serve as co-chair of the Journey Toward Wholeness Transformation Committee of the UUA and co-vice president of Diverse Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries. They are a graduate of Quinnipiac University School of Law and Meadville Lombard Theological School. Reverend Soto comes to ministry after careers in education and law. Sometimes people ask them what the connection is between those fields, and they say simply that all three are different paths to making the world a better place. Yvonne Sun didn't set out to blaze new trails, which makes her achievements all the more impressive. The legacy of racism in America is such that I was first at things that should have happened a long time before I did them, she says. and she is known as a pioneer in the academic field of Black studies. In many respects, I have never felt that I was doing anything particularly unusual. I came along in the era of the winds of change when African Americans were committed to the struggle. Sun was the first black woman to serve as the chief administrative officer on a major American delegation to a General Assembly of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. She then completed, while helping to design, one of the earliest Black Studies PhD programs in the United States. Sun became the first African American woman to be ordained to the Unitarian Universalist ministry and later founded and led a congregation in the 1990s. She sees educating students as a different kind of ministry, helping young people develop as independent and innovative thinkers ranks high among her ambitions. The Reverend Dr. Mark Morrison Reed earned his master's from the University of Chicago and doctorate from Meadville Lombard Theological School. He served as minister to congregations in Rochester, New York, Toronto, Canada, before joining the faculty at Meadville Lombard. He's also served as the president of the Canadian Unitarian Council and president of the Family Services Association of Metropolitan Toronto. Morrison Reed is primarily recognized as a historian of African American experience within Unitarian Universalism. He has written or edited 7 books and 3 curricula. His latest book is Revisiting the Empowerment Controversy, Black Power and Unitarian Universalism. Lewis Allen McGee was born in 1893 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He was the son of a former slave and a Methodist Episcopal minister. After attending the University of Pittsburgh and Payne Theological Seminary, he was ordained in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and he served as an army chaplain in World War I and in World War II. After his service, McGee entered Meadville Lombard Theological School and became one of the first African American ministers of the American Unitarian Association. His experience in an integrated army led to his interest in creating an interracial congregation, and with his wife, Marcella Walker, he founded the Interracial Free Religious Fellowship in Chicago. McGee was a member of the American Humanist Association, and his theological career dealt with issues at the intersection of race and humanism, the belief in the ability and responsibility of human beings to lead personal lives of ethical fulfillment that aspire to the greater good of all humanity. The church he founded is now named the All Souls Free Religious Fellowship, and it remains an active Unitarian Universalist congregation. Aisha Hauser has been a religious educator since 2003. She has served 3 congregations and was the director of children and family programs at the Unitarian Universalist Association. Currently the director of lifelong learning at East Shore Unitarian Church in Bellevue, Washington, Aisha received the 2018 Angus MacLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education. She is a co-creator with Christina Rivera and Kenny Wiley of teach-in materials to support congregations in understanding and fighting against white supremacy. Christina Rivera serves as the Director of Administration and Finance at Thomas Jefferson Memorial Church, Unitarian Universalist in Charlottesville, Virginia. She is a religious professional with primary emphasis on religious education. Previously, she served as the Director of Religious Education at the Fellowship in Waynesboro, Virginia, and in 2014 was elected at General Assembly to serve the wider community as a member of the UUA Board of Trustees. She received the 2020 Angus MacLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education. Most recently, she joined the inaugural advisory board of the House Studies at the Methodist Theological School in Ohio. And she has done this in the face of threats aimed at both herself and her children. Christina has continued her calling to religious education ministry while having to balance the safety of her children with her calling to liberal theology. She preaches it is her faith, and she hopes will one day be at the center of freedom for not just her children, but all our children. The Reverend Leslie Takahashi has served the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church as a minister since 2008. Passionate about the ways a community can help people reawaken to the life of the world, she is also engaged in work to ensure that our communities serve all its citizens. Using her background in leadership development and nonprofit management, her goal is to empower others to take leadership. She's the co-author of The Arc of the Universe is Long, and a contributor to a number of professional publications and meditation collections. She has served extensively at the congregational, district, and national levels, both within the Unitarian Universalist Association and the Ministers Association. Now, you know, in our effort to be more inclusive at our own church, it would be nice if we could think of a way to honor these people. If you have an idea about that, please share it with Sarah White. Dr. Anthony Fauci is back and feeling liberated. I suggest you listen to him and do what he says. Wearing a mask, staying away from people, and avoiding large indoor gatherings are good ideas, and so is getting vaccinated. And remember what Zig Ziglar said, you can have all you want in life if you just help other people get what they want.
The expression "we are all in this together" has been invoked quite a lot these days. Our benediction today comes from Mitch Finley, and he has a different take on this expression. The Christian doctrine of the communion of saints is simple, really. All it says is that once you buy the farm, you live on the farm. All it says is that those who have gone before us are still with us. All it says is that past generations still count and must be taken into account. In other words, we're all in this together, all of us. Our time together is nearly finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our resolve strengthened as we meet the challenges of the week to come. Please help me close this service now. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. My name is Ann Johnson, and I'm happy that you could join us for this service. Please come back whenever you like. We will post another virtual service next Sunday. Please contact the minister or the caring team if you or someone you know needs help during this time. Our services are recorded in advance, so current events may move faster than our ability to address them in a timely fashion. However, you can find up-to-date information on local events, social justice, inspiration, and content for all ages on our Facebook page. To close our service, a song about America and who owns it. This song was featured at Joe Biden's inauguration a couple weeks ago. Our mighty fine choir brings Woody Guthrie's "This Land Is Your Land." And as you make your way through the week, remember this: you are good. You are loved. We could all use a little help. And we're all in this together. Nothing left to say but yay, church!
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said no trespassing, but on the other side it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. This land is yours.